and then it would have my mom and my two aunts as the heirs of the estate. So if somebody was interested, and it happened twice in my case, this is like 20-some years ago, but it happened. People contacted me and said, hey, I see that you're the executor of the estate. Do you want to sell the property? Well, yeah, I went through a realtor so we could maximize our return, but a lot of these people go out to the courthouses, obtain the information, and send out, you talk about sending out letters to like foreclosure people, foreclosure lists, and short sale lists and all that. This is another type of list. And I spend like a chapter telling you how to do that in there. Basically, you go to the courthouse. You don't have to do it yourself. You get somebody, pay them now the interest or wages are higher. You pay them $15 an hour, and we typically, the company, we typically use college students to do this, who are all over the state, and they can do this as a part-time thing, and you can handle a court. I had somebody in Ventura County years ago, one of my students, and he worked at the courthouse or in the county building. And he said, you know what, there's only about 30 probate cases, this is like 10 years ago, there were only like 30 probate cases a month filed in Ventura County. Well, obviously you wouldn't have to spend a whole lot of money doing that. But you imagine if you hit one deal doing this, you can make some bucks.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. This is kind of like a stealth area. You're flying under the radar, and not too many people are going to see you. And it's completely legal. And this is just another way to expand your opportunities to acquire properties and make money in real estate.
So during the break, can we get back there to work with you while getting a book?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
I just want to make a comment that every home that we've ever purchased to live in has been a probate deal.
Yeah.
I've had the best luck with probates, and that's how we've been able to get really great properties at substantially less, because they were probates, they needed a lot of work, the heirs were not that interested in the property, there was no emotional attachment, so I was really able to negotiate my way to get those deals, and I was willing, my husband and I were willing to put in the work, and that's how we were able to really build our real estate portfolio, is by purchasing probate properties.
Do you have Paul's book?
Not yet, but I will.
Was probate something you were targeting at the time?
It
or did
just
you
happened.
yeah.
It just kind of happened because the only way we could afford to get in at that time was to buy something that no one else really wanted, because it needed so much work. So all the deals, like all the homes that we've ever purchased, have needed a lot of work. They were probates. That we had to go through the heirs and all that, but we were able to find really good deals that way.
To follow up on what Linda was saying there, a lot of people, even though mom or dad held that property 20, 30, 40 years, all they see are the dollar signs.
Right.
I think of anybody that watched SpongeBob SquarePants, Mr. Crab. He always sees dollar signs in his eyes. That's what a lot of my clients do. All they see is the dollar signs. They don't think about. They have no emotional attachment. They don't care that their parents are gone. It's just like, give me the money, honey. That's all they want. That's all they want. And if you waive anything that's legal. Now, just a little side note, okay? The court, like I said, they send out a probate referee. It's a desktop appraisal. Nobody goes out to the property, okay? So they'll say, okay, dad died in 2015, and the market said, $350 at the time. As long as you sell it for 90% of that value, you're good to go. If people, you go to one of these people and say, I'll give you 50 cents on the dollar, they'll probably tell you something impolite that I wouldn't repeat here because I respect you. But if you go, you can offer them as low as 90% of the court value, again, the date of death, and get away with it. And I tell people, I've had students before and say, well, I think I can get this. No. You don't want to do that, because if you come in under 90%, you open yourself up to having the court verify the sale, which means there's going to be bidding in court. And in the old days in LA County, I used to, our office is in Pasadena, I used to go over to Pasadena courthouse because it was like 3 minutes away. And they would have a list, there would be several properties every month where the estate could not sell the property for whatever reason, usually because they were fixer-uppers and they needed too much work. They could not sell it for that 90% threshold. So what would happen is the court would hold an auction. And I've been on the phone, now after COVID, we don't have too many court hearings, but I've been on the phone and heard these things, and you know what? When you think you're gonna get a good deal, you could end up hurting yourself and losing that deal because you're trying to get too greedy. If you can make money at that 90%, wrap it up and be done with it. Don't open yourself up to the competition by trying to lowball that person for that extra $1,000 or $2,000. Doesn't make sense. Okay? So I talk about that a little bit in the book too. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Any other concerns? All right.
Thank
Well,
you, Paul.
everybody.
Very good. Excellent.